So I've been interested in sociology related things since basically when I was younger. All I watched was reality TV shows. I was so invested in the Real Housewives of everything. I was interested in watching MTV shows like Catfish, Jersey Shore, Teen Mom. I was in love with those shows. Anything I would watch reality, straight up real things. TLC, um, Lifetime shows, um, I can go on forever as to any reality show that I haven't watched. Shows that were whatever was the Cox people we used to have would provide, I'd watch. I didn't have everything, but any reality show I was invested in. And let's just say I was very interested in how people think, relationships with other people, why they have certain relationships, why they have certain boundaries with certain people, why do they act this way, or what made them lead them to do things, this stuff like that. And I was just interested in their backstories whenever there's a flashback of them, you know, with like what foreshadowed to what happened now. It just really interested me, or had me interested in like reality TV shows and like learning about the social world. And with social media, it kind of like got me like invested, like seeing how platforms like Facebook and Instagram, it's interesting how people portray their lives in a certain way, but then we never know what happens to them inside their lives. So that also interested me as well. So it's kind of like the social world's just interesting. I don't know. Do you guys agree with me? Some of y'all probably are like real reality show like people. I know some of y'all are really interested in that stuff too. But let's just say that's how it started for me. And then I also have this kind of empathic personality where like I like to listen to people talk, or I let people talk to me and people like to talk to me, and I'm very invested in people's thoughts and opinions and things like that. I try to look at people's problems. I try to help people by putting myself in their shoes in a way and kind of embodying myself as if I were that person, and I try to understand them through that point of view. I try to be as empathetic as possible. Sometimes it's really hard to do that. It's actually something that's very draining for people who are empathic. It's like you put your whole 2 cents into everything, or your whole mind, body, soul into a situation, and then it can drain you out. So that's also very dangerous. But I'll get into that more later. But so I was interested in that. I was very good at helping people, and I like to help people. So it was that plus that. So I was just like, okay, what is a subject that I could study the social world and also help people at the same time, and like do research about it and learn about how people, or why people react to these things, or do a group of people have these things, why do they react to these things, why do these circumstances exist for these type of people in categories, things like that. And I I think I also was researching that too. Like I really had no idea what I wanted to study, and I just looked up these things, and the common words that were popping up were social work and sociology. Um, when I chose sociology, I still wasn't like 1,000% with what I wanted to do anyway. I just chose it just to choose it. I should have majored in English because man, I don't know what words I'm saying. But anyway, so that kind of what got me into sociology at first. Like I wasn't sure what it is, but I knew sociology was something along the lines of what I wanted to do. So I just chose sociology. I chose sociology, and then it went on from there. So when I had chosen to be a sociology major, my first thought was, I'm just going to be a sociology major, And then when I graduate, maybe do grad school for counseling, and then I'll be like a social worker. That didn't work out. But the interesting thing is when, let's just say, even though I went to college and I majored in sociology, and right now I don't have a job that's exactly tied to social work or sociology. I feel like I learned so much about life in general that I wish I learned in high school, so much that it helped me be like flourish as an adult. I hope that makes sense. Like, I just wish that when I was younger, or I wish that high schools could implement sociology, because when you put a child through school, they already have like a sheltered mindset. So they're used to living at home. I feel like I'm only describing children who haven't seen the real world, if that makes sense. Like, there's many different children in the United States that go through different circumstances. And when a child is so privileged, they don't see, like, when they're so privileged where they get anything they could want or ever wanted, have a perfect family dynamic and everything, and they just live, like, they live the same, or they do similar things as another child next to them, but they're living a completely different life. Their family's dynamic is really bad. They have abusive parents. They're poor, homeless, things like that. But they both go to the same school, cross the same paths. The privileged child will never experience or have any idea what it's like to be homeless, abused by their parents because they had a different lifestyle. I feel like privileged children, when they're so privileged and they're given and being fed privileged snacks, let's just say, it creates ignorance. What I'm saying? I feel like for me, I've grown up with a lot of privileges, and I definitely feel like I was ignorant to a lot of things prior to going to college. So me going through college, learning about sociology, sorry, it's shaking. Me learning about sociology for 4 years and did like over 200 or way even more hours of that really took me out of that box, if that makes sense. It took me out of the privilege box in some ways. I don't know exactly or specifically, I can't really tell y'all what changed because a lot of me has changed. Like, I've learned so much about like my own identities and my own privileges, and I learned about even my um what's the opposite, inequalities too. And learning about those and learning about how my inequalities, and then learning about the inequalities, different inequalities of people that live in America and different privileged people who live in America, I understand the real world. I hope that makes sense to y'all. That's how it makes sense to me. I probably should just write this down somewhere. But sociology did more for me than just a career can ever give me. Sociology is a way of life. Sociology in America um, is a very sad subject, I guess. Sociology has taught me the real America. It's taught me how America functions. It taught me what America was made to be, but what it actually is. Sociology has done more than teach me how to be a counselor or how to be empathetic. It taught me what life is. I don't know where I went with this already, but me going into sociology, I chose it because I wanted to be a social worker and I wanted to help people. But for my 4 years, I learned that sociology taught me that me as an individual needed to learn things, know things, and look at these perspectives before I could even be that person, be someone who could help people, or be someone who could be a social worker, someone who could be a counselor. Because the number one thing, so let's say, so this also ties into human services. Being a human service professional, you have to go through so much training, so much certification, but to be a social worker, like a true social worker or a human service professional, whatever, a professional, you need to prepare yourself to help people of any kind of, like, any person. You need to prepare, like, I did projects and things and scenarios. I had to pretend to take care of a client, and it was out of random. It was like a random thing. Like, I've had to pretend to be a human service professional for an older person, uh, someone of color, or I had to choose from a movie that was out of selection from the teacher. Like, it was just very random. It wasn't just a plain Jane, because you're not going to get a plain Jane every day. So, being a social worker means that you have to be socially, no, yes, but what's the word? You have to be culturally competent. It's like, I saw something today too. It was a post. It said that racist people cannot be in the medical field because of how women of color are treated. Women of color are treated poorly, especially black women, because of the narrative of, oh, black women are strong and they could go through anything and be strong, and whatever complaint they have, it should be ignored because they're being dramatic anyway. That type of mindset. I don't know exactly what it says. I wish I could pull it up, but I really don't, know where I could find it. But it's that type of thing. For those of you who are listening, you guys are familiar with this issue where black women who are pregnant, they are not being believed, and they've been often been killed because their doctors are not giving them the attention they need versus a white woman. It's like, being a professional that has something to do with anything to do with someone's health, you need to have the mental, not even mental, you have to be humanistic, or humanistic at, like, 1,000% background. That if you're not humanistic at all, you're literally ruining someone's life. Like, think about it. Like, in any field, medical field, nurse, you sign yourself up knowing that you're going to be dealing with all kinds of people, and you're out here literally being biased, racist, prejudiced, but you're not doing your job. Like, it prevents you from doing your job. It's like, but why even sign up to be those things? You know what I'm saying? So that's basically the big life lesson that I learned from being a sociology major. I think I went off on a really huge tangent, but it's something that I realized. And after being a sociology major, I've realized that studying sociology is more than just for the career, for the money. It's more than that. It's a mind field. It's a never-ending mind game. It's a never-ending learning experience. You're always learning. I'm still learning about things. I'm still researching things. That's another thing. You will never stop learning with professions like sociology, psychology, being a teacher, nursing. Like, these professions of helping people, or like just anything, you really don't stop learning. You're learning as you go. And that's what I feel like I'm doing. I feel like being a sociology major is more than just studying one thing, studying certain things, So I would say, now I guess I can answer. The reason why I wanted to be a sociology major was to get my head out of the box. That most people, all people, like, everyone has, like, everyone has a box. And or like it's sheltered in some way in some different type of topics. And if you choose to just stay in that box, then you're not going to go anywhere. And I feel like that's what I am doing now. And that's what I've experienced. I wanted to break into my curiosity, and it's way more than I ever could imagine. So, yeah, I became a sociology major mostly because I wanted to break through my curiosity as to why people act a certain way, why there's systems of inequality, why, what does white privilege mean? Why do these people have privileges? What what started, like, why is there racism? Things like that. That's literally why I became a sociology major, is to break those stupid people that have no common sense and are ignorant, are racist. I'm here to fight the fight. Like, honestly, there's so much more I could say about this, but yeah, the reason why I'm a sociology major is because I want to learn about the real world, the real America, and I want to teach people about the real America. Doesn't mean I want to be a teacher, but I want to be a part of these conversations. I want to speak about these conversations. I want to initiate a conversation as to why things happen like this. Why do people have beliefs of this? Share my opinions. Let other people speak their opinions. You know, that's what it's about. But yeah, I guess that's why I'm a sociology major, because not because I want to be a social worker. It's because my mind is going places, and I'm going to figure out the answers to why. And I'm going to end these ignorant pieces of shit. Yeah. I'm here to change the world. That's why I'm a sociology major. I want to help change the world, damn it. That's what it is. Ow, my leg hurts. I had my legs crossed for a hot minute, and every time I cross my legs start to get in pain. But that's not what. But yeah. But before learning all this, I really wanted to be a social worker or a human service professional, and I wanted to work with children. Something about children, I feel like I've also became an advocate for children, especially learning about like my personal life, like my family history with, not having good parents. Not saying I don't, but I'm saying like, learning about other people's families of having shitty parents, and how having shitty parents and shitty childhood could really impact someone's life as to why they act a certain way. That was another big factor, or another big mind blowing thing. So going through like child rights classes and child related classes, I've become a very big advocate, or I'm wanting to become a better advocate for children. So I've been more interested in that, and I just want to advocate. I want to learn. I want to do so many things. I want to speak out. It's pretty much why I have a podcast. There's so many things I want to do in the future. I know future, do things now. Honestly, I'm going to do things now. Because if you don't do things now, then what are you going to do? That's what I said to myself for college. If I just want to go to college, just do it. If you want to apply to this college, just do it. But, yeah, that's pretty much it for this episode, I think, because I think I just went on tangents and tangents and tangents. But, yeah, let me know what y'all think about this episode. If some of y'all, or if those of y'all who are in college, what did y'all major in? And do you have a job in that major now, or what did your major teach you, or what did your choices in college teach you? What did college teach you in general, like, or yeah, or have you guys taken sociology classes? Did they give you a big mind blow? Did you have a mind blow? Yeah, let me just end this up right now. But yeah, just want to talk about why sociology was even a thought. What sociology kind of is. For those of y'all who don't know what it means, y'all can look that up though. But I kind of gave y'all a rundown of what sociology is. But yeah, I always get asked, what my major is. I don't really get asked why, But I'm not giving Q&As every 5 days or whatever. I know people don't really. But I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about why I'm a sociology major and what sociology has taught me. So, yeah, I'm gonna end this off right here, literally now. So, yeah.